sometimes maybe we don't want to hear, particularly when we are in the amorous phase, when in the phase of the honeymoon, in the phase of one way or another, at the very, very subtle level, in order to enter an intimate relationship with someone, there has to be an element, and a strong element, of why we're doing that in the first place. And whilst we have many, many reasons that we can come up with, the underlying reason is rooted in that what the term Runanubandha represents. And it simply means paying the debts. It's not sounding very nice, doesn't sound romantic. But in terms of that karmic repercussions, it's how we settle affairs straight.
It's more on a personal level. I feel I am at a crossroad. I'm going to give you a little bit of background. I am in a relationship, which also has been a creative relationship, which I really enjoy very much. It's been incredible, kind of like constant mirroring. And I feel at this point there's a strong sense of individuation going on for both of us. And it's kind of like allowing that space. But I feel within being in that collaboration, a lot of parts of me haven't been fully expressed. And I just have a strong yearning to break free, break out. But I also don't just want to throw everything away or look at it very black and white. Also, just in relation with because it's been a musical project, so even that sense of like relationship, creative collaboration has been incredibly narrativized. Like it's become such a narrative, which I'm so, to one level, I'm really done with that, because that doesn't resonate anymore. But that doesn't mean that creative expression stops. But I'm just kind of like, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going. Which is fine, I'm allowing that, taking step by step. But there's just a strong feeling in the heart. And I guess it's, when do we know when things come to an end and we let things go out of an act of love, from like an unconditional place? So when we know, we might feel things have played their parts, and maybe we have to, I don't know. It's really hard for me to.
I understand. I understand the predicament. I understand the intricacy. The contextual, the narrative. Were you with us in Mallorca? No? In Mallorca, in last May.
Yeah.
Do you remember us speaking about Runanubandhanas in relation to amorous affairs, marriages, relationships, no? I'm just wondering if, because you see, like, the easiest way to respond to this is that when do we know? When we're ready to move on. It's like one of the most kind of the bluntest way of speaking about it. But there are inner repercussions of why we in any relationship. And there is this perspective which sometimes maybe we don't want to hear, particularly when we are in the amorous phase, when in the phase of the honeymoon, in the phase of one way or another, at the very, very subtle level, in order to enter an intimate relationship with someone, there has to be an element, and a strong element, of why we're doing that in the first place. And whilst we have many, many reasons that we can come up with, the underlying reason is rooted in that what the term Runanubandha represents. And it simply means paying the debts. It's not sounding very nice, doesn't sound romantic. But in terms of that karmic repercussions, it's how we settle affairs straight. So every intimate relationship, whether this is blood-linked, being born into particular parents, into particular family, or being abandoned by parents, or losing parents and being brought up by foster parents, it's all the same. Having this sibling instead of that sibling, having no siblings, having first love like this, first friends, close relationships, all this is something that is there that requires to be settled. So it sounds transactional, and that's exactly what Runanubandha means here. It sounds totally and utterly almost technical, and it's exactly what it is, but it is to apply with tremendous degree of ethos and understanding. So when we are equipped with this understanding, we are much less prone for certain tendency-driven acts. Tendency-driven acts all come from a reactionary responses towards situations we not fully comprehend. Comprehend means here more in terms not fully live, not fully cognized, not fully feel into. So therefore, their only propensity is to act from unconscious level or subconscious level. So in other words, we are unable to act consciously in those situations when we are not fully comprehending the nature of any relationship. So we are driven by impulses, tendencies. And this is not a rocket science, and this is not reinventing the bicycle. That's how it is. So you're asking me this, and therefore I'm giving you this to reflect on. How do we know when time to, be together and when time to be apart? Only when that Runanubandha is fully settled. If Runanubandha is not settled, we might slam the door, we might have a nice talk and part, we might do this, we might do that, but the bill will come through the door, through the electronic post, through the SMS, through WhatsApp, and whatever is not yet invented, it's already traveling. A reminder. Here is also, because the attempt was made to avoid this, it somehow generates a little bit of, what is it called when you borrow money from someone and then you don't pay in time from the bank? Interest. It comes with an interest. That's what Runanubandha is. Bandha is a lock lock, not lock, right? Runanubandha, it's that what binds us together. So let's give it a bit more human, more tender understanding. So Runanubandha is not all that technical. It's to have clarity and understanding that everyone who enters our life at whatever level where the intimacy is the case, then something is being settled here. And it's what binds us, even if temporarily or for a more prolonged period of time. So that what binds us there, literally, it binds us and creates also these boundaries, because that's what the bandha is. It's not, what are they called? What are these relationships when you can screw around and come back and continue? Open relationships. Yeah. Like back in the day, age of experimentation, like swapping the partners, like threesome, quartersome, and like couples, this and that, all this. It's all fun. But bottom line is, not much intimacy there. The intimacy is only when you would have to share with someone enough time for it to, where even the auric fields are like, like when you come in contact with that person, right? You don't feel invaded and you don't feel invading. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm sure you do. So, if I may just add, when you feel in a relationship like the one you're describing, when you come in close contact with someone with whom you share that intimacy, and you feel invaded, and you feel invading, that means this Runanubandha is weakened, if not dissolved. It's time to go. So, I don't know how helpful that is. This last part is for your discretion. I was not hesitant, but you need to really understand this in fullness of what it means, right? Sometimes, as a woman, you know that very well, that sometimes you don't want to be invaded. And a woman comes, why am I just like, now let's talk on behalf of women, right? Like, but I fathered daughters, so I know what it is like. I know what it is like when daughters need their space, right? I fathered 4 daughters. So, women are more delicate, of course. And at times, women feel as if their space is invaded, right? And sometimes I throw tantrums also, and I then feel like I'm the biggest queen in the house because I need my space. So this is why this last part to be taken with the discretion of how, what I meant is that not what I feel when I have monthly cycle, or what I feel when I have, let's say, when I'm tired, but in general, Because when you live with someone, share space, eat together, right? Converse, cook, work together, right? I don't know what else, let alone when there is a family, you bring children together, right? I don't know, people sleep together, not in all cultures, right? But just remember that there is this, when the fruit is ready, it's kind of like dislodges from the tree, right? Because it's ripe. And if you try to pull it off the tree or shaking it doesn't Fall means it's not ready. When flowers bloom on a tree, they don't stay there too long. Time comes and a little blow of breeze and the petals fall down. They are carried by the wind. But when we enter relationships are not just cherry picking, not just smelling roses. It's a very, very nitty-gritty. I'm sure you know that, right? So there are phases when, we are tested. So if there is something that is still binds people together, it doesn't matter what one of them wants or even both of them want, they'll remain together. See? So it's kind of like, I may be alluding for you to feel this, like when you're ready, you will just know when it's ready. See? There'll be no question. You will not ask that anyone. You wouldn't need that. You wouldn't ask that to the, sagely-looking man or, wise-looking Sibyl. This all clear there, very clear. Things had their way, time to go our own ways. See? So I hope it's smooth for you in one way or another, amiable, and with less of that inevitable, whatever needs to be lived anyway.
Thank you.